This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom, let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And we're halfway home to the weekend Wednesday. Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti, Nick Proetti, and you. Our program today being brought to you by Lincoln Way Liquor at 2825 East Lincoln Way. Yes, with it being warm out there, you might want to grab a cold one or a six-pack of cold ones for the ride home and pop them open when you get home and get ready for the Giants and the Rocks again later tonight from San Francisco. Elsewhere, we also want to say thank you to Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council you just heard from, 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet D in the Greenway Commons for delicious Paisan cuisine 7 days a week. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Talk to them about their CD rates right now. The key people of Cheyenne. Rachel's a person to call, 414-0074. Then she'll send her cleaning people over to clean it so you don't have to. Lennox Auto Body ×2. Heather and her great staff taking care of those autos and trucks over on Dunn Avenue, repairing them the way they should be right the first time. And then the Auto Glass and Detail Center, where Heather and her great staff over there take care of you on Pershing Boulevard. It's not clean until it's Lennox clean. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle, same location right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, offering all the banking services and most importantly, customer service #1 at Platte Valley Bank ×2 on Banda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne with a lot full of Kias and again, great driving vehicles. Special Kia rebates in place right now. You might want to check that out. Never heard of before type of rates being offered by Kia. So check out what AJ and Greg Miller and the entire staff of Kia of Cheyenne have for you today. Chick-fil-A for breakfast, 6 days a week. Again, lunch and dinner. Now you got all three meals filled up, especially when you head on over to Chick-fil-A. Delicious breakfast being served Monday through Saturday with convenient not one but two convenient drive-thrus at the corner of Windmill and Delrange right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels, and save 30% off right now as they are clearing them out. And Taco John's of Cheyenne, home of loaded potato lays. Taco Tuesday, 6-pack and a pound, and their new sirloin steak burrito. It's delicious. Taco John's of Cheyenne. We kick things off with our scoreboard, which is always brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick, and here's what's happening on his side of the scoreboard.
Well, on my side of the scoreboard from yesterday, we'll start on the softball side with Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia. They had a doubleheader yesterday down in Denver, Colorado. First game against the Extreme out of Oklahoma. They lost that contest, unfortunately, 9-2. Game number 2 of that day against the E1 Prospects out of Corona, California. They lost that contest, unfortunately, 11-3 as well. So for the Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia, they are 25-13-1 on the season. Post 6 was in action yesterday as well here at Powers Field. They were taking on the Greeley Gojos, got the victory 13-2 for the Post 6 Sixers. They're 33-10. And overall. Also, too, in College World Series action from yesterday, Arkansas got the victory 4-1 over Oregon State. Tonight will be Game 2 for Arkansas. If they win, they are the national champions. For Oregon State, they need to win tonight's game. It will be on ESPN, and you can see that game at 6 o'clock tonight.
Major League Baseball, they have moved to the bottom of the ninth inning at Miller Park. 2 outs now in the bottom of the ninth inning as Royals lead the Brewers 5-4. Final in where the Astros at Minute Maid hold off the Blue Jays 7-6. And it was the Reds defeating the Braves earlier in Cumberland, Georgia. Final score 6-5. Games getting underway when we say adios. M's at the Orioles again. Yankees and the Phillies in Philadelphia. Angels will take on the Bo Sox at Fenway. Comerica, the Athletics looking for that sweep as they'll take on the Motor City Kitties of Detroit. Pirates and the Mets at Citi Field. Good news last night that Brandon Nimmo at least was up in a pinch hitting role for the Metropolitans. Diamondbacks and the Marlins at 5:10 from Marlins Park. 6 o'clock games. Padres will be at Texas to face the Rangers. Twins will be in Chicago taking on the White Sox. 6:15. Indians and Cardinals again hooking up at Busch. At 8 o'clock, it will be the Cubs and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine at AT&T, 8:15. I love these late games. It will be the Rockies and the Giants. Kyle Freeland on the hill, one of the better starters for the Rockies, 7-6 with a 3.55 earned run average. He will match up against Mad Bum, who is 1-2 with a 3.20 ERA. Baseball from the Bay Area coming up later on this evening. I do believe that's on AT&T 526 on your cable system. All right, our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't
In the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Delrange.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 87. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 54 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 96 and winds out of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56 and winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Peroletti, along with Nick Peroletti, and our first guest we bring on, and we welcome to the program Nicole Quigley, who is the Cheyenne East volleyball head coach. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, absolutely.
And Nicole, again, you are the head coach at East. Tell us, as we get ready for the upcoming season, how many years now you've been at the helm?
This last year was my first year as a head coach taking over. Before that, I was assistant for about 9 years.
And, you know, the thing, too, one of the nice things about East has had a very successful run, especially in the 2000s, in this decade, or in this century, at state titles. If I'm not mistaken, I think 03, 04, 12, 14, 15, and 16, unfortunately, got derailed last year by...
I was going to say, they came close last year.
Yeah, I would say a very good Casper Kelly Walsh Lady Trojans team.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've had a great run throughout the years. Obviously, under Coach Fox, he's done a great job with the program and really, set the bars high for our program in the future. So,
like most coaches that we talk to, and we're going to talk to you about a very special event that's coming up as well. But like most coaches, it's like when the season ends for you, Saturday, November 4th of 2017. It's like you get a little time off, but really the season doesn't end. You got to start gearing up for the next campaign. Of course, with the volleyball season, that's one of the first sports right out of the box as you get going here right after the summer.
Of course. Yeah, we start up our club season right after, a month and a half after season ends for us, and we go nonstop till season starts. So there's not much of a break for us in the off season. So.
With the triads, you draw from Cary Junior High School, so you get a chance to always keep an eye on the next set of young ladies that will be future T-Birds. So unfortunately, you can't keep everybody there because graduations do happen. So tell us a little bit what we can look forward to in the 2018 season.
Yeah, we lost a big group of our athletes this last year. We have a great group of 8th grade and 9th grade girls coming up with a lot of talent. They're very athletic, very competitive, and very coachable. So I'm really excited for the future coming up.
Talk about a former, at least, T-Bird. That's going to be heading over to LCCC with Coach Austin Albers, Jazzy Espinoza. Just talk about what he can expect of kind of a type of player that she is going to bring to the table to the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles for their season upcoming.
She's a very great teammate. She has lots of energy, and she wants to play for her teammates. She's a big hitter, big blocker, and she'll be a great aspect to that team. I think she'll do really, really well there. So,
when we look at volleyball, there's always that one big person that's in the middle of the center. I guess my question is, if you don't have the size, are you still, as they would say, still a contender?
I think so. We've been short in the past when we've won a state championship in 2012. We were really short, and I think it could be done. Certain aspects of the game that you can be better at, and if you can do that, then I think you can be successful. We'll be a lot shorter this year than last year, but I think we're going to come out with a lot of energy, and these young girls are really competitive and got a lot of talent, so I'm pretty excited about that.
So how do you overcome the lack of height sometimes when you have your 6 kids out on the floor?
I would definitely say it would come back to trust within the team, and obviously being able to pass the ball in defense. But it comes back to whether the girls are willing to trust each other and play as a team rather than an individual. So.
We're talking with Nicole Quigley. She is the East High School volleyball head coach. And Nicole, looking at the success of the Lady Thunderbirds in recent times, and again, just falling short last season, what makes what makes your program so special? What keeps it right there near the top, especially during this decade?
I think that we have a great coaching staff that's been around for a long time, and coaches that are willing to put in the time day in, day out throughout the whole year. We start with, club, obviously, and down to the younger age, 5th, 6th grade kids that start from there and build up through our program and have several years under, the high school coaches where we get to build those relationships. And so I think that's where it all starts.
With the East High Lady Thunderbirds, and again, as you've been a part of this program for a long time, so the kids are very familiar with what you're looking for, especially in a practice situation as well as game situations. But I was wondering too, and we've had this discussion, especially with a lot of the guys that have coached women's programs. You heading up the ladies program with the Lady Thunderbirds. Do you encourage the Lady Thunderbirds after they're done with volleyball to get involved in other sports, whether it be basketball, track and field? There's some avenues for them to get involved with. So do you look for some of those ladies to be 2-3 sport athletes as well, or do you want them to focus specifically on just the volleyball commitment?
Absolutely. We encourage all our athletes to be 3-sport athletes. I grew up being a 3-sport athlete, and I just think it makes those kids work differently when it comes to volleyball season. And if they're willing to put in the time in another sport and train different muscles and different things throughout the year, they come back nice and fresh and ready to go for the volleyball season. And so I think it makes a huge difference in your athletes, whether they play different sports or not. So I highly encourage it.
With volleyball season at least approaching very quickly, Nicole, just want to talk about you are hosting a youth clinic coming up here, I do believe July 2nd through the 3rd. Just talk to us very quickly about that camp that you are hosting for the youth, at least for the city of Cheyenne.
Yeah, we host it every year, and it will be this Monday and Tuesday from 9 to 12, both days. Normally grades 2nd through 8th grade, and we're really looking forward to, working with those young kids. They're a lot of fun. So,
is this something where you, at least parents, need to register online, or is it something where folks listening and tuning in right now can walk up to the doors? Is this going to be at the East High Thunderdome, and where they can sign up there?
Yeah, so sign up can be, you can find our brochure on easthighathletics.org, or you can, since it's right around the corner on Monday, you can sign up the day of camp, the morning of, before camp starts at 9, and it is at East High Gymnasium both days.
Now, Nicole, you can't do this by yourself along with your coaching staff because there's going to be a lot of people there. I'm assuming that team members will be there, and you'll break off into different groups and work on different fundamentals throughout this 2-day camp?
Yes, absolutely. We have a great group of coaching staff, but we encourage our older athletes. They really get involved with these kids and build relationships, and the younger kids really enjoy being around the older high school athletes, and they kind of get inspired by that, and so we make them be more involved in our camp than the coaching staff. And so it's a great opportunity for these young kids to get to know the T-Birds for the next couple of years and build those relationships. So,
Nicole, do you still see that as, I look back to when I was high school way back when, and when you were an athlete as well. Do those younger kids that come out to these camps, do they still look up to those seniors and juniors? Not so much in a hero-esque type of look, but I mean, do they still, I'm being taught by, and I'll just pick on Jazzy Espinosa. Do they still look at them like, wow, they're in awe of these older players?
I think so. We always put kind of on a show with the older girls and kind of give them a demonstration, but we generally have at our home games, we have a large turnout of younger kids that have been part of our off-season program, and I think they really enjoy coming out, and they do look up to those older kids that have been around, and are just inspiring to be, as good as them. So.
Now, I'm going to go on the other side of the coin because I know when I was coaching fast pitch with my daughter before she graduated at Cheyenne East, there would be times where I would lose a couple, 3 players because of camps that are going on. Are all of the volleyball camps done for you, or is there still a camp that will be taking place at one of the colleges here in the area?
As far as youth camps goes, this is the only camp that we generally host.
No, I'm talking about Cheyenne East. Do your young ladies go to any type of camps as well?
We do. We go to a camp in Ogallala, Nebraska, and that's the week of the 15th of July 15th, and it's a week-long camp. They run 2 different sessions, and I generally have enough to bring 2 teams. They kind of limit the camp. It's not really a generalized camp. It's more of a you kind of get selected to go every year, and they're kind of limited to teams. And so that's kind of really the only camp that we generally go to throughout the year. Other than that, we're putting in the time in our own gym. So.
Well, Nicole, we want to thank you very much again. Throw out for more information again on this youth camp, July 2nd through the 3rd. At the Thunderdome. How can they get some more information? Obviously, they can call you, and I'll let you throw out the numbers and the other information.
All right. You can get on to easthighathletics.org. The brochure is on there. You can shoot me an email at nicole.quigley@laramie1.org, or go ahead and give me a call at 307-421-3330, and you can sign up the day up.
We want to thank you so much for taking some time out and talking with us today here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Nicole Quigley joined us on 1480 K-Ray, Cheyenne East volleyball head coach. And again, Nick, last year they got derailed in quest of the 4-peat, but they'll be back at it again this year. And they've had a sensational run here in the 2010 decade. They have 4 state championships.
Well, again, I think it credits also to the athletes that have been on that team. Again, where we're going to see one athlete at least here local play with LCCC, as I mentioned with Jazzy Espinoza. Again, where she was a multi-sport athlete. Again, as we saw her, kind of spotlight on the basketball squad under Coach Rusty Horsley, but also too again with years, at least with Nicole, at least got to see her only 1 year, but at least as a head coach, I should say. But again, Jazzy Espinoza will be joining the ranks of the LCCC Golden Eagles volleyball team coming up this season, so looking forward to that. So again, Coach Austin Albers getting some local pretty good talent, at least in addition to that team. And
again, Coach Box, before he stepped down, along with Nicole being on the side there, they've had a very good program. They've sent off numerous players off to other, whether it's secondary level, whether it's JC or moving on to D2 or D1 school. So congratulations on the success of the Cheyenne East volleyball program here in the decade of the 2010s. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more of Wyoming Sports Talk today right here in 1480 K-Ray.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat in Marv's Plumbing and Heating. 1515 Logan Avenue is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Well, here's a baseball note that just came down. Jason Worth, and the surprising part was I didn't realize he was that old, who has been with...
he's not that old.
He's 39.
Well, still not that old to what you're about to announce.
Well, Jason Worth, who has been in AAA with the Mariners, where he was hitting 206, has apparently called it quits. At his peak, Worth was an excellent, entertaining two-way player. He was one of the first guys to make the beard popular, like it was in 1982 all over again. The 7-year, $126 million contract he signed with the Nats wasn't the bust that many predicted after he left the Phils, and the club made the playoff 4 times, and Worth made them 9 times in his career. He was a good player on many good teams. So
yeah, again, he just ran into kind of the injury bug at the tail end. But again,
he just couldn't heal
with
up.
The Phillies, with the Nats. Again, he was a great player. Again, added to both of those teams. But yeah, just over the recent years dealing with the injury that he could not overcome. And again, 39 is not. It's floating around age of sure it's entertaining of retiring, but it still comes at a little bit of a shock that Worth ended up retiring today. Again, I do believe in a statement that he came out with. He said that he has no regrets about at least retiring early. Again, it was just all stemming from he just can't overcome the recent injury history that he's been having. So again, Jason Worth, yes, unfortunately his career is now done unless he pulls off a Rafael Parmelo. Parmelo, whatever.
Well, no.
Either way, though,
we have his little quote from a few years back. Anyway, looking at the career of Jason Worth, with the Blue Jays from 2002 through 2003, Dodgers from 2004 through 2005.
Yeah, but
was out in the 2006 season, but came back with the Phils. 2007, 2010, and then finished the last 6 years with the Nats.
He comes away with only one World Series championship, and that was with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, at least he does have that within his career. Again, a solid player throughout. Again, those earlier years with Toronto and with the Dodgers. I think the Dodger, at least the 1 year he spent with them, again, was kind of the beginning of, whoa, this guy could be pretty darn good, and he turned out to be for Philadelphia. Again, with the Nationals, he was still solid, but he was just running into the injury bug more and more often. Again, where he wasn't playing a full season. It was, you were lucky to get him at a half a season, for good amount of years there in Washington. So again, no big surprise, or at least it's not surprising that he did retire, but also too, again, unfortunate that he does at the age that he is. Again, 39. In my books, again, you got Bartolo, who's nearly close to 50, and he's still playing.
He's 45.
Yeah, again.
And Nolan Ryan, I know, pitched well to his mid-40s as well. Here's the final numbers that we have on Jason Worth. They're not going to get him into the Hall.
He's not a Hall of Famer, no.
He came to the plate 5,484 times, had 1,465 hits, 229 career home runs, and a career batting average of 267. The one thing that I will say about Jason Worth, he was probably one of the better left fielders around. He could track down a lot of baseballs.
He was solid. He
had a solid arm. So you
Gold Glove winner, I think, of a few stints, but nothing. I do believe he only won it once, but
he's not going to be.
He's not a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt. But there was nothing that really stands
out. You can depend on him every day.
Yeah,
that would be
again when he was healthy, but. I mean, the only thing where you can kind of recollect, or at least kind of speculate now for Jason Worth at this point in time, is do the Phillies do something special for Jason Worth? Again, he isn't really. He did assist to getting that that Phillies team a championship that it took him so long to finally get back on top. Do the Phillies do something special for Worth? Again, bringing him back, being a part of that team, or
I think they were a little myth that he left them and went to the Nats. I mean, he stayed in the division.
I mean,
usually when you
Worth is
become a free agent, you go elsewhere.
I've never heard bad things about Jason Worth being in Philadelphia.
He was a good baseball guy. He was a good guy in the clubhouse. He was a likable guy. But then again, too, if you remember, most of the interviews that the guy did, you very seldom saw him. He was one that
I was like, what interviews?
He shied away from the media a lot.
I was going to say, what interviews? He was hardly ever in front of a camera. He was just that quiet. Let's just get to work and do the business at hand guy. Again, he wasn't a media
blue collar worker,
yeah.
Absolutely. So
again, there's no. Again, Philadelphia fans, I really highly doubt they have any issue with Jason Worth of what he did. Again, moving on to the Nationals, but again, he's still that kind of beloved figure right behind Ryan Howard of being at least those kind of good old days of the Philadelphia Phillies there at the tail end of the, or at least again around the 2008, 2009, 2010 kind of years where they were sitting there on top, or if not, again competing for a World Series championship.
The Detroit Tigers have fired pitching coach Chris Bosio. General manager Al Avila told ESPN's Jerry Krasnick today that Bosio was dismissed for using racially insensitive language directed at a team employee. Avila told ESPN that bullpen coach Rick Anderson will take over for Bosio. A.J. Sager, the Tigers' roving pitching instructor, will fill in as bullpen coach until AAA pitching coach Jeff Pico arrives and assumes the spot on manager Ron Gardenhire's staff. The team
is that how we get rid of the Rockies pitching coach? Then is that what he needs to do?
We just need to fire him outright. He's just
they're not doing it though. Again, you figure all your starters with 5 or a 3 at the halfway mark, but you still keep them on for whatever reason. Good on you. But again, going back to this with Detroit, yeah, sure. Yeah, and you're gonna say if you're gonna do something stupid like that, especially in this day and age, right. Yeah, get out of here. Just leave. And hopefully baseball, at least MLB, again, no teams pick him up. I mean, if you're going to be that dumb, come on now.
Yeah, Bosio was in his first season as Detroit's pitching coach after serving in the same role for 6 years with the Chicago Cubs. I mean, why?
And again,
why do you want to just shoot your career in the foot? Because now you're going to be.
If he wants to be an idiot, let him be it.
Yeah, now you're going to be remembered for one incident.
I would hope so. Again, I hope every other MLB team, at least out there, hears of this, knows of the guy's name, remembers his name, and does not hire him. I'll even toss it down to the MILB, again, with minor league. Hopefully no one even touches him down there as well. Again, come on. It's 2018. You're still doing stuff like this? Just get out of here. Get out of baseball completely.
So I was watching the game last night, and, of course, it was late for me. And
I don't want to hear it. It's late. Boo-hoo.
Anyway, as I fell asleep,
get some coffee in you or something.
I fell asleep in my chair, I woke up to a story that was, and I had to hear it again because it was like, what? Police in suburban Atlanta say a body found inside a beer cooler at the Major League home of the Atlanta Braves belongs to a Minnesota man who was doing contract work at the stadium. Again, one of the sidebar stories that's sad. Cobb County Police on Wednesday identified him as 48-year-old Todd Keeling of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Authorities said Keeling had worked on the overnight shift for a beverage vendor. A coworker found his body inside the beer cooler at SunTrust Park before Tuesday's Braves-Reds game.
And again, all signs point to it was overnight. Not a whole lot of people there. Probably, again, lack of communication, realizing, hey, he wasn't even probably part of there until well after. And again, it sounds like the door kind of locked on him. And again, in that situation, you're
right now. Foul play has been
ruled out.
And again, an autopsy was planned today to help determine how he died. U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration spokesman Michael D'Aquino tells the Associated Press that the agency is investigating the death. The Braves declined to comment. SunTrust Park is northwest of Atlanta near Smyrna.
Yeah, I don't think the Braves organization is going to comment on, you got someone just died here.
Imagine opening up the cooler.
Imagine that employee run into that. That's awful.
Dude, no thank you.
That's just awful.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We will talk, since I mentioned that I stayed up for the Rocks-Giants. We'll talk about that game.
I mean, what's there to talk about? The Rockies still suck.
And the Giants,
they've won 6 out of the 7.
They got a big win. That was a big win. And also, too, we'll talk about that first game of the College World Series where Ty Lane said, hey, he expected Arkansas to win Game 1, and now he thinks they're going to
win the series. But
he thinks the Beavers will win the next 2. But that was a very good pitching performance by Arkansas in Game 1. So we'll talk some more baseball when we come back after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
Do you have a big remodeling project in mind? Then the best tool for you is a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank. Whether you are remodeling, making home repairs, or expanding, a home equity line of credit can help you finish that project. Stop in and we'll show you the hidden value in your home with a home equity line of credit from Platte Valley Bank.
Some restrictions may apply, subject to credit approval. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 K-Ray AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 K-Ray.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a 6-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the Day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
People who know Mark Gordon talk about the kind of governor he'd be.
We have to have a forward thinker.
He's always been open to new ideas. He's the first person I ever saw bring a computer to a branding.
Mark Gordon, forward thinking for Wyoming.
He was an innovator and was very good at managing the budget.
Mark's experience is coming at a perfect time when we are needing fiscal responsibility.
His ability to watch our funds with doing well as governor.
Mark Gordon, Republican for governor.
Paid for by friends of Mark Gordon.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 87. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 54 and winds out the south at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 96 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Game 1 between the Giants and the Rockies in the books. Oh, by the way, these two teams will play at least 19 times this season. And the series is tied at 4-4 after last night's win by the Giants.
It'll probably end up where I would hope the Giants probably have a game advantage. But, again, it's going to be tight-knit. Again, between these two, no matter what team is on top, it's always a coin flip of who's going to win this series, who's going to win this game. You don't know. You really don't know. Again, we've seen
Francisco.
Bumgarner have great years, and he goes and pitches in AT&T against a Rockies team, but finds a way to allow 8 runs against them, or he'll go out and put on a complete game shutout against the Rockies. You don't know what you're getting out there. Even including yesterday with Derek Holland on the hill for San Francisco, again, Bettis. Again, it seemed like it should have been a run fest where, again, a 5 ERA, a 4 ERA on the other side for the Giants.
And both pitchers pitched well.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you
the Rockies got fortunate, they didn't have to go to the bullpen, or at least they did once, and it was to the main guy.
And they went. Yeah, they went to the guy, and probably
your trustworthy guy.
Well, here's what's going to happen. I think with Ottavino throwing 35 pitches last night, I think he's done for the series. So I think your middle guy.
I feel like the Rockies are desperate at this point. Where Ottavino, hey, it's a close one again. Please, we need you.
I don't fault Bud Black for what he did last night. You go with the guy who's hot, and Ottavino was hot. Unfortunately, last night.
Clearly, again, last night it shows you that he has trust in no one else but him. Again, hey, Bettis, thankfully you're putting on only 2 earned runs, but at this point, again, I don't trust anyone else in my bullpen. Bettis, you're gonna have to fight this one out.
Well, if the Rocks would have tied it though in the top of the 9th inning,
they didn't.
And no, but the Giants
with the double play.
Dyson made it exciting.
He usually does.
Davis was warming up, and Davis is a closer. But they were, even if they would have been tied, Davis would have been in there last night. But the thing is, you go back to last night's game, and both starters, and you tip your cap to both Bettis and Holland. They pitched well. Holland probably better effort than Bettis, but Ottavino was just a complete flop. The question would be, are you surprised? I mean, Ottavino was just kind of, skating along, having a good year, and then you get that one bump in the road. Now the question is,
surprised at what?
Well, that he had an off night last night, as much as everybody's been saying.
That Ottavino had an off night?
Yeah.
What's an off night for him though? Again, he only allowed 1 earned run. He
walked 3. He walked in the winning run.
Again, does it surprise me? Ottavino, again, maybe for this season, but as a player as a whole of what we've seen in years past, no, he's been known to do that. Again, what he's doing this year has been nothing but surprising. Again, with a 1 ERA. Again, walking 3 in a matter of an inning and 2/3, we've seen that out of him. Again, what he's putting on, at least difference this season than seasons in past, he's at least his production value's gone up, I would say.
His slider is very good.
I'm just saying he's been known in years past to be as awful as the rest of the bullpen of going, oh, boy, Ottavino.
Wild, very wild.
Again, where he's not really trustworthy, but he is coming into that kind of role this season. So is it surprising a little bit for this season for him as a whole in his career or something to see like that? Not really. Not really. You kind of almost expect that out of him. He's had those kind of wacky nights. We've seen it plenty of time down in Coors Field, and this was on the road against the Giants. So,
I think his fastball that he has a little more control of. I think that's probably one of the reasons why he's a little better this year. I wasn't all that impressed though with the Giants pen last night. Melanson, he still has his problem.
He still has to figure things out.
Yeah, Dyson.
He's trying to, again, he is trying to embrace us.
He's not a closer.
The Giants don't know, again, Giants and Rockies right now at this point. Well, I guess Rockies, you have your closer, you know who it is, but he's not consistent. Giants right now they're more under the 8 ball on trying to figure out a closer right now of, is it Dyson? Is it going to be Melanson? Is it going to be Hunter Strickland when he's healthy? Hopefully not.
Well, he has to go to anger management classes too.
Yeah, again, he's fiery. Who cares? Again, that's nothing new for that guy. But, again, Giants right now at this point, they're still trying to figure out who is going to be their closer. It's been an issue for, when Romo was...
Since Brian Wilson's left, they haven't really had a solid closer.
I wouldn't say that, again...
Casilla was not your closer.
Casilla was, at least one point in time. There was one year he was very consistent. I would disagree with you. Again, you would have to go back to, I do believe, that 2012 campaign. Again, he was very good. Romo in 2014, again, he was a solid closer. he had a little bit of issues, but I would say probably after that 2014 World Series, the Giants have been a team trying to figure out who is their 8th and 9th man in every single game, and they're still at this point in time, they still don't know. Even when they put up big money and they try to get Melanson out of the Washington Nationals, he's still, again, some of it is him being injured. Some of it is him trying to, I guess, embrace being part of this team.
Let's be real. Melanson's a bust.
Maybe for the Giants, but
he needs to go elsewhere. He really does. And
again, the Giants they're kind of fully invested in him, so I don't see it anytime soon. Again, if any bullpen is going to move, it's Hunter Strickland at this point in time. Again, Melanson, they have too much invested in him.
All right, what you just said, same thing with Strickland. Strickland's too much of a hothead. Who's gonna want him?
There's someone on the market. I guarantee it. There's someone who's willing to put up peanuts.
If I am a general manager right now, looking at Strickland's numbers, he has a great fastball. But how many home runs for a short inning stint guy? He gives up more home runs than anybody. I don't see.
I don't know about that, but
you better go look at his numbers. I don't see.
I'll look at his numbers compared to other.
I don't see a
people
place for him on my bullpen.
There are teams out there. Whatever fantasy world you're living in, there's going to be a team that is going to.
Then he may go across the bay to Oakland. That's probably where he'll end up at.
No, the A's are they're fine right now, or at least the A's. I don't think they need to adjust anything on the bullpen side. But again, whether it is someone in the American League Central or whoever, there's a team looking for him. It's just more so of what are you going to put up in return to get a Hunter Strickland. Again, would not surprise me by trade deadline that he is gone from the San Francisco Giants. But again, Dyson, he's still trying to figure out what you're doing with Dyson. Again, Melanson, when he's healthy, again, you want him to be as good as he was with Washington. He's not there yet. So with the Giants, they're kind of saying, hey, we're still invested. We still want to work with you. Just we need to figure out what is going on, what's wrong at this point in time. But again, for the Giants at this point in time, they've won 6 out of the last 7. I do believe, at least in this point in the past, this is the first time that they've won multiple series, or at least this was like their first winning month in over 2 years for this team.
And June was a swoon.
Yeah, June is usually the worst month for the San Francisco Giants, but this was their first winning month in over 2 years for this team. I think right now the Giants, as they're still trying to play around with these pieces, they're in a good spot. They're in a very good spot right now. Again, with everything that has been dealt to this team, it is, especially with last night's win, here it is, the beginning of that separation I've been calling for of, hey, Giants in the top 3. Giants are right now your number 3 team in the NL West. Start separating yourself from the rest of the pack of the Rockies and the Padres. Start putting them down at the bottom of the basement like they kind of deserve to be at this point in time, and start expanding it. They are at this point right now showing that they want to. And with the Rockies, it's something to be very worried about. Because, again, you have the Giants who are, for all intents and purposes, they're hot. Again, winning 6 of the last 7. They're a team that is firing on all cylinders, or at least looking like they are.
Running, yeah.
And again, you will be going down to L.A. to take on the Dodgers, a Dodgers team that is also too figuring out things. They are firing on all cylinders. They're getting pieces back. Right now for the Rockies, this is and I think we talked about it yesterday. Is this a series, a must-win? It's looking like it right now.
Well, and it has to be, and I'll tell you why. Because these 2 teams will have 2 more games, and again, you got Mad Bum and Freeland. This is must-see TV tonight. I think two of these.
And again, you could write off the record in ERA for Mad Bum. Again, he's only been, what is his third?
This will be his 4th start.
Yeah. Again, he is still Madison Bumgarner, still a name you need to respect on the Hill. So, and again, it's at home, and it is pitcher-friendly ballpark.
So, but anyway, like I said, these 2 teams will meet again tonight, and then they'll wrap up the series tomorrow. Then, as the Rocks take off to go to L.A., then they welcome the Giants back at Coors Field for a 3-game set.
Yep.
So that will be during the 4th of July holiday, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then they don't see each other till September. So, then they'll wrap. I don't know what the importance will be when these teams match up again in September. They will play what?
Probably for the Rockies, it's what kind of draft position you get for next year.
Who knows? But they will. They'll have 6 games in a period of
and again,
2 weeks.
I'll keep on going as we're approaching right now the midway point of the season. Sorry, Rocky fans, and again for the Colorado Rockies, this is a team that is not at this point in time until they make some big moves in at least here before the trade deadline. This is a team that is not making the playoffs anytime soon.
Now let me throw it at you. I've always been the one barking here and griping and moaning. So I'm going to put you in the general manager seat for the Rockies. What are you looking for in trade, and who would you go after?
Obviously,
don't say Hunter Strickland, because obviously the Giants won't trade in the division.
To get rid of that cancer, probably.
I don't think they would trade in the division.
But again, if you're the Rockies at this point in time, what are you getting rid of? You're getting rid of that bullpen that you paid high dollar value for.
Who's going to want them?
Again, there are like with Hunter Strickland, there are teams that are going to be interested of saying, hey, not saying they're going to get rid of McGee. Again, he's
cheap actually to get rid of. He's only $5 million.
Is that someone you want to get rid of though?
You're going to have to get rid of Dunn or McGee. Get rid of
Dunn. Dunn's done.
Dunn's done. What about Shaw? He's on the DL.
You can't move him on the DL, or at least
no, he'll be off the deal. But I mean, he's been a bust. He's worse than Melanson.
But again, there are going to be teams that are, again, if the price is right, hey, please take them off our hands. Give us what we can in return, whether that is. You almost want to say for the Rockies, it's a trade. It's an even trade of, hey, give us bullpen for bullpen. There you go. We'll take a chance on your guy, and you take a chance on our guy. Essentially, that's what the Rockies really need, is to find some way, if not picking up in free agency, calling up someone, or just trading for peanuts at this point in time, of going, we need to bolster that bullpen. What's the issue right now? It's the bullpen. And maybe also, too, if you find a way to get an extra starter in there, possibly. Again, I don't think any starter in the right mind, especially if that's kind of worth of any value, wants to go to Colorado to watch their ERA numbers just go skyrocketing. Again, 5 ERA, 4 ERA. Come on now.
But you're also going to have to, if you're
again, what's the issue for the Rockies? It's pitching.
No, if you're Bradich for the Rockies, you're going to have to unload one of your outfielders. Obviously, Cargo would be the
Cargo is going to be. Again, I anticipate Cargo is going to the AL.
You also have Tapia, who's down in the minors at Albuquerque. You also have David Dahl, who currently is on the DL. So there's 3 guys there that need to go. On the infield side, and again, you can't touch the starters right now. No. Even Desmond at least is as bad as the start he got, and as much bad publicity, and we've given him grief up here as well. He has kind of picked up his game a little bit. Not just the home runs, but I mean he's hitting for average. So
you say Desmond?
Yeah, Ian Desmond.
217 is hitting.
He was under like 170 for the longest time.
Still pretty pathetic.
Yeah, but I think he went.
Compare that to the 297 that Brandon Belt at the same position. Yeah, woohoo.
All right, so you're going to load that salary?
No, I'm not saying that the Rockies should or would. I don't think so. Again, I think of your position players, I think Cargo is going to be that one person.
And Cargo's hitting about 270.
And again, whether that is, hey, Houston, hey, here's a DH position, or maybe the team that kind of jumps off, at least on the list to me, of who might pick up Carlos Gonzalez, I don't know, for whatever reason, I think Cleveland would. Of maybe Cleveland to at least separate themselves from the AL Central, the rest of that pack. Hey, here's Carlos Gonzalez, a solid DH to put on, at least put out there for you. Again, a little extra oomph in your lineup. Hey, here you go, or something. I'm just tossing out of what.
Somehow Boston jumped out at me right away.
Maybe. He's not going to another NL team, I'll tell you that. Again, he is an AL. He's going to be a DH, and someone's willing to pick up Carlos Gonzalez. I think that's going to happen. I as much as I've been saying it for years and years, say about 80%, I think Carlos Gonzalez is no longer going to be a Rocky this season before trade deadline. And I think that's an absolute possibility. You sign him for the 1 year, you got him for cheap, you can afford it, and maybe it is a situation where, hey, Cleveland, Boston, do you have extra arms? We'll give you this guy. Give us something in return to bolster our bullpen, please. Right?
Well, like I said, we're starting to play general manager here.
We might as well, because they're not going to down there.
We got a month to go before the trading deadline, so
I get that. But again,
but you're starting to see. We
might as well role play now, because again,
we'll talk about the Rockies.
To entertain the fans.
we see what is the, and I don't want to use the word
What?
cancer, but we see what the weakness is right now.
It is a cancer. Again, what is holding back this team? It is the bullpen. It's the pitching.
It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys.
Yeah.
So it is basically the last third of the ball game.
Sorry,
that's killing
again, a
you right
team
now.
where I believe that they're not a playoff team, and for them to make it and probably be top of the NL West right now is a cancerous spot, and it is that 7th, 8th, and 9th pitching rotation that they do have right now in Colorado. It's absolutely a cancer. It's preventing this team from being better than it is. Right now at this point in time, they're 38-41. This is what I expect out of this team, a sub-500 team. That's about it. They're not that good. They're not making the playoffs at this point in time. And hopefully that ownership, or at least, I don't know why I put out the word hopefully again as a Giants fan, but anyways, for the Rockies, at least for Rocky fans, hopefully that ownership group goes in and addresses this issue. But also, too, the main thing about it is you invested this money. One of the most expensive bullpens. They invested it in the offseason to fix what was already an issue last year. It's an even bigger issue this year.
They spent a pile
Are
of
they
money.
going to? Is it worth it to that ownership to go?
Well, see, but
we put up a lot of money for you. Now you're going to
same problems in San Francisco. They got to get a bullpen too. They need their one.
But again, I trust that front office more than I do the Rockies.
I have a feeling
Giants front office of what we've seen in the past decade.
I
what have
agree.
they done?
I agree, and I think the guy that might be on the move probably is
That team's not a 3-time World Series champion without the front office moves of
But
what
would
they've
you
done.
agree with me? I think the Shark is going to probably be the one on the move. I think
I still like him.
I like him too, but I think Block is showing, and actually Holland has developed into a starter now.
Which is weird because I always remember Holland as a relief guy, especially when he was with the Rangers. But and especially with Hernandez, he's rookie, but he's showing that he can be good.
He definitely is getting the innings in for him.
Yeah.
So again, with the Shark, I think once he comes off the deal, I think he might be priced to go.
Possibly.
Again, with Cueto coming back on, you're going to have one of those guys heading back to the pen, so that makes your bullpen a little stronger.
And I think that'd probably be Holland, maybe. Holland again.
You think you stay with Pudge's son as a starter?
Maybe.
I think he should.
For me, absolutely. I would say again, Derek Holland. What I know him better as is not a starter; it's a relief guy.
He's a middle guy. He's like a Chris Russin.
I would take advantage of moving him in the bullpen again in replace of Cueto. And I think that's the only reason why we're seeing Derek Holland right now as a starter is because Cueto has been injured. And for the Giants, that would probably be the smartest move. Do they unload Samardzija at this point in time? It's really a flip of the coin of I could. Maybe it's part of a package deal. But also, too, I could see them absolutely hanging on to this guy. Again, he's not awful.
Well,
he has issues every once in a while, but he also, too, his main issue from last season to carrying on to this season minus the injuries is he's just not getting run support.
Then that's just it. And I think the Giants also need a bat, too. So they need to get somebody a little more powerful in the outfield.
Outfield.
They need an outfielder.
There's one I was going to say Cargo, but
no, they're not going to trade within the division. I'm telling you.
Trying to think of who would be viable, who could trade, who is desperate at this point in time. Does Cincinnati have anyone worth a damn that they could get rid of?
Yeah, Scooter Gennett. Who cares? Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. It's like we have fun with this now, just like we did speculating with the draft. The football draft. We were talking about that thing for 2 months.
I didn't want to get any part of that. That was again. I'm not talking mock draft 10.0.
I know, but I'm just saying it was fun conversation. We are about a month away from the trade deadline.
Well, there's already action happening.
I know, but you already know teams that are going to be buying. And, teams that have to sell.
We don't even know. Again, are the Rockies going to be a buyer? Are they going to be a seller? Who knows at this point in time?
If they keep sliding, they're going to be sellers big time.
We'll see. Again, will Oakland, will that team that loves to sell, do a fire sale every single year? Are they going to?
And they're above the Mendoza line.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying. Who knows at this point in time? Are the Giants going to stand pat? Are they going to move? Are they going to sell? Again, who knows at this point in time? We really don't know.
The Boston Red Sox
We're at the top of the hour.
I know, and I need to just do this last story here. And gosh,
why not just save it at the top of the hour?
All right, yeah, we'll do that because I didn't realize we went that long. We will be back with hour number 2 after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it is hour number 2 officially of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by a wonderful group of folks, Taco John's, with a plethora of locations here in Cheyenne. Again, a lot of goodies being cooked up in the kitchens of Taco John's. You need to check them out today. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels on Highway 30 here in Cheyenne. We also want to thank Chick-fil-A, where you can join them for breakfast Monday through Saturday, and head on back for lunch, and then on the way home, grab some, yes, chicken sandwiches, delicious. How about a chicken biscuit for breakfast? You can have that too. Chick-fil-A right there at the corner of Windmill and Del Range across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where the family of Kias looking for new homes right now. And if you really want to get in that sporty thing and you want to test drive the Kia Stinger, it is an awesome ride. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking made very simple over there on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing, open Monday through Friday.
I mean, hell, you could probably, get your Kia car, finance it through Platte Valley, right?
I'm sure you can finance it through everywhere.
I'm just saying, why not? There again, 2 of our sponsors go to Kia and then get financing through Platte Valley, right? Is there anything wrong with that?
No, I'm sure Rick.
There you go. I'm thinking it right for you.
Rick will do the deal with you.
It's cross promotion.
Medicap Pharmacy for all your, and then when you get to that first bill, you go to Medicap Pharmacy and you get those aspirin over there on Bluegrass Circle.
My bill's not that insane, and I have bad credit. Or at least my credit's probably better than yours, but again, my car payment's not that insane.
I'm a dead duck. Medicap Pharmacy, again, on Bluegrass Circle next to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2. The main repair center founded by Dick Lennox, continued on by his daughter Heather over on Dunn Avenue with a, let's put it this way. There's a lot of bays to get the job done. And they also have the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. The key people of Cheyenne, they'll come on by and clean it so you don't have to. And again, Rachel is the key person to call for the free estimate, 414-0074. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. I guess you can call there, too, and get your financing done at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. But they also want you to talk to them about their CD rates. Mondello's Pizzeria. Again, Joe and Caesar and the entire staff invite you over for delicious Paisan cuisine 7 days a week. Their pizzas ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network folks. That's how good they are.
Maybe Mondello's offers car financing as well, too, or loans. Just saying.
Maybe they'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Maybe. They are Sicilian.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Give them a call at 635-4592. Marv's Plumbing and Heating. You know them for plumbing. How about for air conditioning? Give them a call, as they are located at 1515 Logan Avenue. And again, Lincoln Way Liquor. Grab a cold one on the way home tonight. Grab a cold six-pack on the way home, and pop them open when you get ready to watch the Giants and the Rocks tonight.
If you're a Rockies fan, you're going to need something a lot heavier.
Well, I guess we can open up the light stuff then, huh? At 2825 East Lincoln Way, that is the home of Lincoln Way Liquor.
They won 6 of the last 7.
We know Mad Bum's going to win tonight. And we got our scoreboard off and running here in hour number 2. It is brought to you by the great folks, Will and all of that great crew over there at Pepsi of Cheyenne. What do we got?
Softball action from yesterday down in Denver, Colorado with Cheyenne Extreme Team Galicia. Game 1 of the doubleheader, they took on the Extreme out of Oklahoma. They lost that contest, unfortunately, 9-2. Game 2 down in Denver against the E1 Prospects out of Corona, California. They lost that contest 11-3. So with the Cheyenne Extreme, they are 25-13-1 overall. Also, too, for in action here in town at Powers Field, the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers were in action against the Greeley Gojos, got a victory 13-2 and moved to 33-10-0 overall. On the college side, with the World Series happening, Game 1 finally got underway yesterday between Oregon State and Arkansas. Arkansas won that contest 4-1, so they are up 1-0. It's best 2 out of 3. Game 2 tonight. It will be happening over on ESPN at 6 o'clock tonight.
We go to the Major League Baseball scoreboard. We got some finals in on some day games here. Cincinnati has defeated the Braves 6-5 at Cumberland, Georgia. Royals and the Brewers 5-4. That is a final in Kansas City as KC picks up the win over the Brew Crew. And the Astros hold on for a 7-6 win as they get a walk-off over the Blue Jays at Minute Maid. Games getting underway here in about an hour. Mariners at the Orioles, Yankees at the Phillies, Angels and the Bo Sox in Fenway. Athletics and the Tigers will hook up at Comerica. Pirates and the Mets at Citi Field. Diamondbacks, Marlins tonight in Miami. Padres will face the Rangers. Twins will be at the White Sox. Indians and Cardinals at Busch. And the late games on the left coast, Cubs at the Dodgers. Rockies, Giants. 8:15 tonight from AT&T. Kyle Freeland on the hill for Colorado. He's 7-6 with a 3.55 earned run average. Probably one of the more consistent Rocky starters this season. He'll be opposed by Mad Bum, who is 1-2 since returning from the extended DL. His earned run average 3.2. So a couple of port siders tonight tossed in the baseball. Should be a good ball game, I would expect, Nick, and I'm going to throw in a little commentary here before we go to the commercial. I would expect another low-scoring game tonight at Coors.
Who knows?
I mean,
in theory, a pitcher-friendly ballpark, absolutely, you would assume, especially with Mad Bum on the hill. But again, that Rockies lineup knows them pretty well, so we will certainly see.
And I think Freeland, he
but again,
will
go figure,
do his job.
Bumgarner has a lower ERA than the opposing pitcher.
A Rocky starter. I got that. All right, we are going to tell you that our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Well, we were right at the top of the hour when I was getting to this last story about baseball, and this cat here, He's kind of like the Energizer Bunny, just keeps on going.
Bartolo Colon?
No, talking about Brandon Phillips. He's had his ups and downs, but again, as a serviceable
his downs
player,
were being part of the Cincinnati Reds, but
he has been dependable. And the Red Sox, needing depth at second base, have signed 16-year veteran Brandon Phillips to a minor league deal. Phillips, who spent most of his career, if you do that again,
I'm
going to see this pen. It's going to go right up between your forehead.
You can't even throw. Do it on air. See what happens.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got blessed with this thing in my nose and it messes up so much.
You were hiccuping.
Yeah.
I don't hear that.
And it happens because of all of this joke that I got in my face right now. Anyway, Phillips, who spent most of his career with the Reds, played 144 games with the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Angels last year. Hit 285, moving back and forth, 13 home runs, 60 RBIs. He has a career 275 batting average, 210 home runs, 949 RBIs. So, he's going to be somebody.
He's that Todd Helton-esque kind of player. Again, not above the 300, but again, still get you hits, dependable batting average, probably a good OBS. Again, a home run every once in a while. Not bad. Not a bad signing, I guess.
Well, and he has not played actually at all this season.
Well, no. Again, I do believe he's been nurturing some injury, I do believe.
Dustin Pedroia, having played only 3 games and sidelined indefinitely with a knee injury, Phillips could be back up to Eduardo Nunez, and Brock Holt at second. He played a little at third base last season, if I remember, for the Braves to make room for Ozzie Albies. So, again, we'll see what the Red Sox do. But, again, I think they get a quality player in Phillips, who's only 37 years old.
It's kind of like the Rockies with Cargo. Again, you sign him probably for cheap. You got someone there just in case if anything does happen. Again, with Nunez is, again, ever since joining the Giants, and he's been kind of on the roundabout of teams, he's just kind of tapered off in his career, especially what he was doing with the Minnesota Twins. But again, for the Red Sox, again, you add that extra. Yeah, I would say he's Mr. Dependable. Again, when you put a bat in his hands, yeah, he's going to possibly get a hit. He's going to get on base for you somehow.
He's a solid player. Phillips, who turns 37 on Thursday, has 4 Gold Gloves, so he's pretty steady at that position at second base. 208,
I don't think
2008, 10, 11, and 13 all with the Reds.
Do you think he's still making kind of trick plays, or if he can dive across the field like some of the youth second basemen in the league?
You know what? Brandon Phillips is Brandon Phillips, so we'll see what happens with him when he.
Yeah. Again, it's not bad. It's not bad for the Red Sox. Again, it's just another piece for them to kind of extend away from the Yankees of saying, "Hey, the AL East is ours." But is it a major move, or at least something where it's like, "Hey, the Red Sox, now you got a complete advantage over the Yankees. You should be running away with the East." Not really, but I think at this point in time, the Red Sox are a team where they could just stand pat, and I think they're perfectly fine. I think that obviously the team that needs to make maybe one additional, at least add to that team, would absolutely be the Yankees. But I think the Yankees at this point, they're pretty much a lock for for a wild card spot. But obviously for that Yankees team, I think for at least manager Aaron Boone, I think they want to win the East, get that guarantee, and because I think they're on par right now, or I think they're, a few games either behind or just kind of alongside with Houston right now for best record in the AL?
They are let's see, they technically have a better record than Houston.
Yeah.
So right now,
and again, obviously
they're about a game ahead of Houston.
Yeah, and you want that at least home field advantage going.
And actually,
throughout the
Boston has a better record than Houston.
Well, that's what I'm just saying, though. Yeah. Again, for the Yankees right now, as they are ahead of Houston, they're right now behind Boston. But, again, they are competing for having the best record in the AL, which at this point in time, as we're getting towards the kind of downslope to the end of the season, hey, you still want to fight for that, get that home field advantage throughout the playoffs, going into the World Series at this point in time. I think that's what the Yankees are going to try and do. I don't think it's not a franchise that's going to settle of, oh, hey, we made it to the wild card, thankfully. No, this is a team that's a storied franchise, won many World Series championships. They're not going to go, yeah, okay, Boston, especially their heated rival of, hey, you take the East and we'll just settle for a wild card spot. No, I see Yankees. Maybe that's a team. The Yankees take a look at a Cargo. Maybe they look of, he's an extra bat. He can accompany everyone
Boston
else.
Would be the same way too, being the left-hander.
Yeah.
You know, especially for Boston. The thing I like about it, and I talked to a lot of folks around here, it seems like there's more Yankee haters than there are Red Sox haters. There's a lot, there's more people pulling for the Red Sox than the Yankees.
Well, because they're the kind of underdog team, or at least they're not an underdog team anymore.
No, they've already gotten rid of the
I mean, at that
curse.
point when they were winning World Series, at least when they finally got over the
Yankees
curse.
were winning, they weren't winning, right?
Yeah, so for the Red Sox, it was a situation where fans got on board on that bandwagon of, hey, it's kind of like it's like with the Cubs of, hey, you haven't won in quite some time. Here's your chance.
But I like the Eastern Division of the American League right now because with the Yankees and the Red Sox, this is going to be good baseball even in the second half of the season. Oh, we're coughing now in the air?
No, I muted my mic, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, did we hear that? Yes, we did.
Sorry, it's a very tight-knit and not even a, soundproof area.
Wham. All right, so anyway.
I'm just saying.
No, you give me grief, so I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah, but I muted my mic.
It doesn't matter. I could do that, too. I can mute my mic as well. I can still hear you, and you can still hear me.
That tells you how bad this studio is, or at least, again, with the audio. We need those.
You know what?
We need foam insulation.
Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. I want you to go build me a new office. You got the money.
No.
And if you don't have the money, go borrow it from your mom. She's got piles of money.
I've already invested enough.
And I know she's got piles of money.
Shut up.
So anyway, Yankees of Boston, they're going to make for some good baseball in the East this year, especially when they hook up because, again, the rivalry is alive and well.
It's always been alive and well. Are you kidding me?
No, but it's got more.
I mean, it's got more
even
when those teams are awful.
Do you not get it? There's more significance.
There's
a
no
pennant involved.
Which is nothing new. Again, there have been many years where they've competed.
Do you want to come out of there as a wild card? You want to win?
No, that's why I'm saying the Yankees are going to be a team that they're not going to suffice for getting wild card spot. No, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to try and sign someone big, whether it is a Cargo or whoever. Of hey, come on board. Hopefully this is enough of a boost to get us past the Boston Red Sox. But again, it's a rivalry where even those teams, if they're bottom of the AL East, it's still a heated rivalry. They still hate each other. It's kind of the same with Dodgers and Giants. I mean, let's be honest. Even with those teams being awful at some point in time in years ago, you still see fans fighting each other in AT&T or fighting each other in Dodger Stadium. It's still a heated rivalry, no matter what.
Well, like I said, this year the rivalry has a lot more going for it right now, especially with this playoff system that they have. The winning of the division being, and you'll probably be either the 1 or 2 seed, and then again.
No, I think they're guaranteed.
You're going to have the playing game. You're going to have that one and done type of game to make the playoffs. So,
but even if you're wild card number 1 team and you still have a better record to at least going into the divisional round, you still get that home field advantage, right? Yeah. So, again, in theory, if it were, for whatever reason, Yankees move on from the wild card spot, here it is, Houston, there are a few games behind them. I mean, it's not a bad trade-off for the Yankees of, all right, we didn't win the division. Granted, we won how many of who cares? We're out here to win championships, but, hey, we still at least have home field advantage in the divisional round.
And just use that argument. Boston would be the number 2 seed. We'll just use that as an example. Say Houston becomes number 1 seed. Yankees got to go face Houston in that first round.
Okay, that defeats my purpose of what I'm talking, obviously. But I'm just saying, in whatever case of where if the postseason starts now, here it is that you have the Yankees being wild card number 1. If they were to move on, hey, we got a Houston team that's below us in the record. Hey, guess what? We got the home field advantage. Again, if I'm the Yankees and I'm that front office or, again, those players, not a bad trade-off, not a bad kind of deal where, again, you sure you had to play that one extra game, but, hey, here we are in the divisional round. We still have home field advantage.
All right. We're going to get out of that real quick, and before we take a break, the question I ask of you, young Nick Proetti.
What?
Game 2's on tap tonight. I think right when we get off the air at 5 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken.
How about 6 o'clock, as I've been saying it?
It says 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
I have 6 o'clock Mountain Time here, according to the NCAA, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, it says here, Game 2 on tap Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN. And
yeah, I got 6 o'clock Mountain Time, according to the NCAA official website.
Either way, we'll have to see how it goes. That might be Central Time, by the way.
Nope.
All right.
It says MT.
All right, well, it's going to be Arkansas and the Beavers. So last night, after having the extra night off, and Ty Lane sat here and said, hey, Arkansas #1, they expected a win, and they got the win. Now, according to Ty, he thinks the Beavers are going to capture the next 2 games. I don't know.
I haven't really been following at least too heavily in the College World Series. I at least not have been watching it, especially with Giants and Rockies going on. But, kind of go off of the trusting with Ty of what he's seen again, where, they faced off against a pitcher who's playing for that Arkansas team. And, again, we saw what happened with that Bryant Arkansas team getting the victory against the Post 6 Sixers. Again, when you got talent that's playing in that World Series against the Cheyenne Post 6, I wouldn't be surprised if Arkansas just wraps it up tonight. They should, in theory.
Yeah.
Again, getting a 4-1 win last night, probably get it done again tonight.
Like everything else, though, in baseball, we always want to see 7 games in a World Series.
Sorry, it doesn't happen, is this?
In the College World Series, I'd like to see it go, best out of 3. I would like to see Oregon State win tonight, even that series up at 1 game apiece. Then I have no care who wins the 3rd game. I really don't. Because, again, if the Pac-12 wins,
I don't care if either of them win.
But I'm just saying, again, it makes for good baseball, especially, and again, when you have your top 2 teams in for the championship and they go the distance, the 3 games, that makes it all well worthwhile. So hopefully Oregon State will leave up the series tonight.
Ironically, it's not even the top 2 teams that came into this bracket. Oregon State certainly was, but
let's put it this way:
Florida was
after the beatings of everybody, the 2 teams that remain standing.
No one's really beaten anyone. No one's really cruised through this College World Series at this point in time. Again, both teams are coming into this where they both have 2 losses at this, not 2 losses, but I do believe. No, Arkansas has 1. Oregon is the only team that has lost so far.
Tournament.
Yeah, in the tournament, because, again, it's double elimination. But Arkansas has gone undefeated at this point. But, again, their scores really haven't been anything saying, wow, this Arkansas team should just wipe the floor with Oregon State. Again, it'll probably be a close knit. Something tells me that Arkansas just takes care of it tonight. Why let them back in?
Well, we'll see.
Just step on their throats, get it done right now, and go and get your national championship, Arkansas.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We got more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
According to the latest Rate Watch report, First Year Bank offers the highest annual percentage yield in the Cheyenne market for 12, 18, 24, 36, 48, and 60-month CDs. The friendly staff is ready to answer any questions and help you open or renew your certificate of deposit. Give Carol, Caitlin, or Deb a call today at 307-632-3500. First Tier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot? Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 87. Then tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 54 and winds out the south at 10 to 15. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 96 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56 and winds out the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Nick mentioned at the top of the hour that the Sixers won over at Powers Field last night, a game that was shortened due to the 10-run rule, 13-2 over the Greeley Gojos, which I said they would win. Sixers now 33-10 on the season.
Do you feel proud that you predicted that? Congrats, you finally predicted something that went right. Again, let's go off. Yeah, throw it at me. See what happens, loser.
The Sixers return to the road Thursday. They face Parker, Colorado Lightning at 9 o'clock in the morning at the Pacific.
You're taking
Mountain
away from my scoreboard. Don't do
Denver.
that to me because, again, that's what we're going to read off tomorrow.
I
Don't
know,
do that to
but
me.
just want to let people know that they're going to be back.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow when it happens tomorrow. So it's fresh in their minds on a Thursday. Yeah.
Where's my baseball at?
Yeah, I got it well away from you, so don't even try it, pal.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
We need to take another break, and we'll be right back.
No, it's not happening on my show, not at all. How about instead we talk about NBA free agency once
Well, we
again?
can talk about that.
Because also, too, as at this point in time, as it's, again, we already saw our first trade. It wasn't anything monstrous recently, but, again, right now, online, they have been, at least many media outlets have been predicting, or at least previewing of what all 30 teams in the NBA of what they need to do in this offseason to at least kind of assist their teams or, again, kind of bolster or whatever they need to do for this offseason, even including the Denver Nuggets right now. Right now, again, the key points that I see right here in front of me, and this is off of ESPN. Let's see, something I've been talking about many times. The big one, find a new home for Kenneth Faried. How about Denver Nuggets? Do we finally see the Nuggets finally pull the trigger and get rid of Kenneth Faried? Finally. I'm asking you.
I hope they do. I mean, like you said, you know, the Nuggets need a little. Well, I think here's what's going to happen. I think that what happened with Jokic yesterday, I think that kind of sets the table.
Yeah,
what the Nuggets are going to start doing.
Well, and that's going to be their main focus this offseason is at least getting him that max contract again, where it's going to be worth at least 5 years for about $147 million. Again, that max contract for him. But also, too, that's going to at least hurt the Nuggets a little bit, at least more on the luxury tax kind of side.
And I like that. Finally, they're going to be a luxury tax team if they get Jokic
for
to
the first
that big
time
contract.
since the 2009-2010 season. So, again, they are at this point taxed right now at $5.3 million. Also, too, will they re-sign or at least take care of Will Barton as well? Again, for me, Will Barton, sure. Nuggets, again, he was okay for Denver last season, but is it something where, again, if he were to move on, that the Nuggets, are going to be, losing ground? Not necessarily, especially with what kind of free agents have been touted so far in this offseason, where the Nuggets, I feel like, should be, I wouldn't say aggressive, but they'll entertain this offseason.
Faried is gone.
I would hope so.
I really hope so. I think he's gone. Now let me ask you this question:
Trade his cancer to go over for Kawhi.
And now let me ask you this question: what about Paul Millsap?
What about Paul Millsap?
Do you think they want to hang on to him?
I would assume so.
Does Paul Millsap want to actually be in Denver?
Well,
that's the question.
I would think so. Again, it's a situation with the Nuggets where they are Laker-esque, where they are building or not even Lakers. It's more so Philadelphia.
But they're not going to be in the
playoffs. They got the young
next year. They're going to be on the outside looking in again, I think. If they're
well, again,
outside shot at number 8.
Obviously, again, for next season to preview right here and now for whatever reason, but Golden State obviously is in it. Houston.
Okay.
Barring on what OKC does, I mean, they've done it before before they brought on PG-13 and Carmelo, even though Carmelo's retaining with that team. I want to say, OKC will be in the playoffs.
Utah?
But it's depending on what they do.
I think the New Orleans is going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. I would guarantee that, again, with even what we saw with Anthony Davis, they definitely need a healthy Boogie Cousins. They need to add one more piece to that team.
Minnesota,
but also, too, again, with New Orleans,
playoffs.
you can't guarantee that because, again, what if Anthony Davis is traded to Golden State? What if that does happen?
He doesn't want to go there.
He says that, but, again, he might be saying that just as joking. Who knows at this point in time? His name is still being tossed out right now as a potential trade to the Golden State Warriors. So that is something absolutely we still have to take a look at. So if he leaves New Orleans, sorry, the Pelicans are not making it in. But at this point in time where pieces are set in stone, and we'll go off of that of what, here are the teams as of right now. OKC, again, with your big three, Houston, Golden State, New Orleans. Yeah, Utah. As much as I felt like last year it was something special for that team, and they're not going to replicate it. Sure, they might be a 7-8. I'm trying to think of who else. Minnesota.
Yes.
Again, it was.
They're young. And
think about it though. It was game 82 where we decided it was Minnesota over Denver Nuggets. So,
and Portland. You got three. Young teams.
Portland's slowly trending downwards at this point in time. But
I said the Nuggets would be either a 9 team again next year, or they're going to be a barely 8 team.
Because Phoenix is still young. They're not figuring out anything. Lakers.
I don't care if LeBron goes to the Lakers or not.
The Lakers, if LeBron goes to the Lakers, Lakers are a guaranteed playoff team. There's no doubt about it.
But they're like going to be 7 or 8 in the playoff run.
Maybe.
Again, LeBron gets to face the Warriors now instead of just 2 times a season.
Again, this is all speculation, but
if he does go to the Lakers, he gets to face them 4. He faces everybody in the West 4 times.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You know what? They're not going to be that.
He's not going to cruise. I'll tell you that through the Western Conference. But again, they will be a playoff team if he does sign it. But
LeBron,
again, Phoenix,
you better think about going to the West.
LA at this point, even with the Clippers. Sorry, the Clippers are way too young. They're rebuilding at this point in time. Lakers, again, still young, in my opinion. Who else am I forgetting at this point in time? Sacramento, no, not even. I'm trying to think. Memphis, no, they're a rebuilding team. Yeah. And who else am I forgetting?
We got the teams in there that were in the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of who else is in that Memphis area, but again, at this point in time, it would not surprise me. Again, this is all prior to any moves of what's going to happen, but Dallas, that's the other one I was thinking of. Dallas,
no,
they're not. San Antonio. If they lose,
Leonard, it depends on Leonard.
And again, Leonard at this point in time, he came out again and said he's adamant of getting out of San Antonio, even after the talks with Popovich, and again that brass saying that they were going to renegotiate with him. No, he came back and said, no, I want out. I'm done with the San Antonio Spurs. Find a trade for me and do it now. So, all intents and purposes, it looks like San Antonio is going to be without him. But also, too, it depends on Parker. Also, too, depends on what they're going to do with, or at least if
Ginobili,
if he retires.
He has not.
You can even toss out Pau Gasol. Gasol's getting old as well. That's 4 potential big names right now that could be at least leaving the San Antonio Spurs. So that's where Nuggets could vault. Because, again, the Spurs did make it in. They were that 7th seed. And that's something where that shift with them moving out, Denver could sneak in. Possibly. Again, where you give Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Portland, Utah. Again, Denver would be your 5th representative out of the Northwest. And, again, you're only going to have potentially one out of the Pacific, which is the Golden State Warriors. Again, Houston and New Orleans, you're 2 out of the Southwest. Again, with San Antonio at this point in time, it really depends on San Antonio, what's going to happen with that situation out there. Does Kawhi leave? And it looks like for everything right now, absolutely, he's gone. I think we can guarantee that. If he's that adamant that he wants out, I think San Antonio's going to grant him that wish. They don't want that cancer there. And again, it depends on, does Parker retire? Does Ginobili retire? Does Gasol retire? That's 4 big names right there that are going to be leaving that team.
The question would be, if Leonard goes, maybe they don't retire. Maybe they stay.
Again, right now with LeBron and Kawhi, those are the 2 big names on the and Kawhi obviously not a free agent, but in this off season, the 2 big names, and that's what's kind of halting this NBA universe at this point of, you got to see where's LeBron going, and also too what's going to happen with Kawhi. And then you're going to have to make your moves after then and there. All right, well, Lakers got LeBron. All right, here we are, Oklahoma City. Does Paul George want to join LeBron over in L.A.? Who knows? Who really knows? Again, without these 2 big names moving at this point, I think the NBA kind of sits at a standstill of going, do I fire that trigger? If I'm Golden State, do I go and offer that trade do I offer that trade over for Anthony Davis? Or do I offer that trade offer to go get Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Here's the crazy part. We had the draft, and you thought you would get some indications just from the draft. And then
I don't anticipate you're going to see San Antonio go, hey, Kawhi, we're trading you who drafted.
But I know, but then you get a 3-week lull waiting for the damn free agency market to open. Maybe they should open that up right after the season ends. Yeah. I mean, we already know who's going to be a free agent, don't we?
Wait, what?
We already know who are the free agents.
Oh, yeah, we already know
it's like right after the season ends, get into the free agents. Hey, there we go. Let the team start building around that, and then do your draft.
Why
not?
I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of why they have it set up like this.
Yeah, but basketball should be, again, if they are trying to be the
well,
one
obviously,
of the 4
obviously,
best
again,
sports.
with the draft, here it is where we address our needs now, and then if we're not happy or anything, hey, here's off season, here's free agency to try and fix other positions of, hey, we missed our guy in the draft, or again, this isn't really working out. Here's our opportunity. Again, for the Denver Nuggets at this point in time, again, this is all according from various outlets, but again, their team needs, especially on the starting side, they are looking at picking up a center, especially if they do lose Kenneth Faried. Kenneth Faried is listed on the depth chart as a center, and again, it looks like he will be leaving. Mason Plumlee, he's okay. He's kind of that Zaza Pachulia where you're probably better off just benching him, just going off small. So again, there's definitely a need for a center if they want to at least have a presence in there, like an Anthony Davis or whoever. And then also to a starting forward, where again you look on the depth chart, Wilson Chandler, he's kind of aging. He's okay. I put him on the same level. If you put him on the Warriors, he's kind of that Andre Iguodala of like maybe your 6th, 7th man coming off the bench, but that's about it. Mm-hmm. But there is that issue there. Backups, they are looking at a point guard with behind Jamal Murray, and then also to a shooting guard, again, where you do have Gary Harris Jr. and Michael Beasley. They're pretty set there. So, again, that's why they're looking at that. Free agents right now for at least the Denver Nuggets, restricted, at least free agent at this point in time, is Jokic. But, again, they are looking to sign that max contract. Richard Jefferson, I mean, you're okay there. Devin Harris, again, someone you can pretty much just get rid of, and again, still working on Will Barton to see what they're going to do with him.
I think, and they definitely need to find a way to keep.
But again, if they sign Will Barton, then that hurts them on the tax, or at least Denver will be paying a much higher tax than they are at this point in time of the $5.3 million that they are at this point. Again, from our instances, if whatever the contract is, no matter what, the Denver Nuggets are still going to pay a significant tax penalty if he is re-signed. So.
Well,
again, a lot of big.
In my opinion, I think the Nuggets are definitely Will Barton. That would be to me a stupid move on the behalf of the Nuggets by letting him.
But it's a cheap. Again, you already knocked the ownership of this. Again, are they going to be willing to pay that tax? Again, they haven't paid a tax since in 8 years.
Do you want to get in the playoffs? That's the question. Do you want to be on the outside looking in every year, or do you want to make
That's the biggest question right now for this ownership. Let's be honest.
Make that money back.
Again, we saw what happened with the Cronkies again, where they own the St. Louis Rams. Guess what? Hey, it's not viable. It's not worth our money. Sorry, we're going to L.A. with this team. We're getting rid of them. Again, with the Nuggets. The Nuggets have always been kind of a cheap team, it seems like. Again, they at one point in time, hey, let's go and pay Carmelo. He's our big figurehead, and then put no one around him. Sure, you had AI, but it was AI at the tail end of his career, and they got him for cheap at this point. Again, are the Nuggets going to do that? Are they going to re-sign Will Barton and take that tax penalty coming up? Who knows? Who really knows with this ownership? Again, is that front office willing to do it? It would be smart if they did, but are they going to?
Let me ask you the dumb question.
Are they going to get rid of Kenneth Reed?
I know, but let me ask you the dumb question of the day. Again, the Cronkies. Do you think that both Pop and Son have made a few bucks in their lifetime?
They're probably just like Pop and Son of Oakland, or at least, again, with, that whole
again
with Al and Mark Davis.
I know, but you look at what.
I mean, let's be honest. Mark Davis drives an old
van. But you look what Silver has done with the NBA. Every ownership is doing fine. It don't matter whether they have 4,000 or 18,000 fans. They're making money.
I mean, hell, the Nuggets saw, at least it wasn't record crowds, but they saw at least.
Cronky's making money. So the bottom line is, to him paying a $5 million tax, But if you get in the playoffs, you'll get back that $5 million and then some, won't you?
But there is no guarantee that the Nuggets are making the playoffs. So again, we saw what
That's up to them. That's up to them being smart.
I'm just saying the Nuggets have what they put on the floor last year. Again, probably the best we've seen in quite some time. Again, it still came up short in that Western Conference. Maybe that's a situation where the ownership goes and kind of questions if, are we a playoff team? Are we going to make it in the playoffs with this Western Conference, even if we do get Jokic that max contract and re-sign Will Barton, get rid of Kenneth Reed, and we have Gary Harris Jr. and all these other players? We had him last year. Jokic put on probably one of his best seasons. I don't anticipate Jokic to repeat that performance. He might get close, but I don't think it's going to be anything as what he did, or if not higher than that. If all that meshed last year and they were on the outside looking in by only a game behind Minnesota, again, we're talking game 82 was the deciding factor of it was either them or Minnesota. Right now for the Nuggets, that ownership group is kind of going and questioning, are we a playoff team? We had everything, it seemed like, set in stone last year. We were upsetting teams at home like a Golden State, a San Antonio, and all these big names. We still couldn't get in the playoffs. Who knows? But also, too, again, it's an ownership that I anticipate is going to be cheap. Again, hey, here's your one max contract for your figurehead. He's going to be the face of your franchise. And then you're going to kind of cheap it all the way around of going, well, are we going to really re-sign Will Barton and take that tax penalty? For me, I'd say about a 70% chance that they will re-sign Will Barton. If they're smart, they do re-sign Will Barton, absolutely. But again, as free agency as wacky as it's going to be, it's even wacky just down the road with the Denver Nuggets of what in the hell are they going to do? I
don't know.
The first thing is to get rid of Kenneth Reed. Do that immediately.
Yeah, get rid of Reed and re-sign Will Barton. I think things could the chips will fall into place after that. We got to take a timeout. We're past break time. We'll be back after these words right here in 1480 K-Ray.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken, so now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
John Mason here for Lincoln Way Liquor. I want to thank Cheyenne for helping us grow during our first year of business. We have over 5,000 new customers in our database in just 13 months. Our customers love our low prices, free ice, 2% credit for future purchases, and some really friendly service. And we always have 16 weekly specials on beer, wine, and liquor. We ask you to compare Lincoln Way Liquor, 2825 East Lincoln Way. We're not the largest, but we might just be the best.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480. K-Ray.
Yeah, we can go on and on about free agency stuff, but again, we'll probably have more conversation pieces coming up.
Well, again, it's not going to be over for quite some time.
Right.
So again, it's not even here yet.
But I know but again, when you have a famed name such as LeBron James, a potential out there, and really KD,
potentially he is out there. Well, he is a free agent until he makes a decision.
And again, even KD is technically.
He's already said that he's returning.
Yeah, he's committed. But
same with Clay. Again, Clay has said that he is returning.
Yeah,
it's not a who knows. No, Clay has come out and said that he is coming back.
But you never know what changes. I mean, who knows?
Hey, Lakers come up. Hey, Clay, you want to join our team and not win championships? Go right ahead.
Well, I would hope
not. Go right ahead.
I do want to turn the mic back over to you because we have not done our social media stuff that you always have every day that you talk about, so let me give it back to you.
Oh, you're going to finally allow me to do all that?
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway, social media sites for Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Periscope, we are on the 1480K Radio YouTube channel. But let's start on the Facebook side. You can find Wyoming Sports Talk Today just by simply searching that. Or it's facebook.com/WyoSportsTalk, WYO Sports Talk. Also, too, I'm representing the show over on Twitter. You find me at Nick Wyo Sports. Again, with that WYO in the middle there, Nick Wyo Sports. And also, too, we are live on Periscope, live stream video and audio on Periscope, and also to the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel where you can search all of that. If you can't find any of those for whatever reason, you go over to the 1480krae.com website, go into the programming guide, go and search for Wyoming Sports Talk Today. And at the top of that page are going to be 3 buttons that lead you over to the Facebook, the Twitter, and the YouTube side. So you can go like, follow, subscribe to our channel. And also, too, on the social media sides, I've given you updates on guests, contests, giveaways, news to pass along, anything and everything. And also, too, do encourage fan participation. And comment suggestions, questions are welcome on our live streaming services, where, again, I do have chats pulled up for both the Periscope and YouTube side. So, again, if you have a comment, suggestion, question, anything of what we've been talking about, let us know, and I'll read it live on air.
A couple of things here before we wrap up the program. A federal appeals court has backed an NCAA rule requiring most football players who transfer schools to sit out a year. The 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago upheld a lower court finding that NCAA transfer rules don't violate U.S. antitrust laws. Monday's decision was in a lawsuit brought by a former punter for Northern Illinois University, Peter Deppe. The ruling focuses on a requirement that most Division I football players who transfer to another school must sit out a year. Deppe's lawyers argue that the Indianapolis-based NCAA enforces the rule primarily to ensure transfers don't hurt the quality of the football and thereby cut into lucrative revenues. They say that it makes it an unreasonable restraint on trade, but the 7th Circuit rejected that. Its unanimous opinion accepted the NCAA's concern that easy player transfers would undermine the amateur character of college athletics.
Again, I'm going to go back to our friend Tommy Lee Jones and say,
I don't care!
Come on. I mean, let's be honest. With the higher courts, instead of focusing on this, how about let's work on adjusting to get these players some money. At least adjusting this and fix what is NCAA and fix the NCAA of what it is right now, again, of where we have all these issues, we have all these coaches making these shady deals, offering high quality, at least talent to come by, again, these recruits, but we're putting off shady deals like a Rick Pitino. And it's not just, again, with football, with basketball. Again, the NCAA.
What about all the other sports? What about baseball? What about lacrosse?
That's why I said all sports. Again, I think with the NCAA, I think it needs a massive overhaul.
Well, now, most of these...
And also, too, going back as well before to cut you off, but again, with a Rick Pitino and some of these coaches that do put on these shady deals or leave programs that are decimated, like for instance, a Pete Carroll or whoever that move on, hey, why not make a rule or make a stance of, it doesn't need to be high courts, but if it needs to go that far, let it go. But make it a situation where if these coaches do something like that to affect players, they're affecting colleges,
they're affecting lifestyles.
Yeah, they're affecting lives essentially. These coaches should no longer be able to
They
coach.
should be banned for life.
Yeah.
And again, I don't see that coming up in these courts, but nobody's taken them to court yet.
Yeah. Which is very, again, maybe it's a situation where they're afraid to, they can't afford it. Who knows?
The universities can afford it. They've got plenty of money to do that.
I think the universities at a point in time, they just don't want to deal with it. They're going, we're just going to step away and just
or maybe they got skeletons in the closet too that Pitino would kind of
possibly. I would not doubt.
Who knows? But I do want to say this though: when you made the comment about semi-pro. I don't have,
and I think we're at that point in time. I
don't have that problem, but also too remember that these student athletes are getting a full education if they want it. They're getting room and board
for free.
So they're technically getting paid to go to school.
Yeah,
technically,
I guess.
So and again. You kind
of obviously it's not enough where again you have a LeVar Ball create the JBA where that's semi-pro of again college athletes of saying, hey, here's your chance to get, you have all that and here's more.
Yeah, but LeVar Ball doesn't want you to go to college either.
Yeah, well, especially with their kind of leniency on everything. Yeah,
there you go. Hey, speaking of college, I want to throw this out real quick before we wrap it up. And this happened yesterday. The parents of, and I forgot all about this, that this happened in January. The parents of Washington State quarterback Tyler Helinski says an autopsy performed after his January suicide showed evidence of the chronic traumatic, I can't say that word, but CTE.
All right.
And they were speaking on the Today Show. Mark and Kim Helinski said the Mayo Clinic conducted the autopsy on their son Tyler, who died January 21st in Pullman. Excuse me, he died at the age of 21, January 16th in Pullman. Police say Helinski shot himself in the head with a rifle that belonged to a former teammate. The autopsy findings show stage 1 of CTE. Basically, his functions was that of a 65-year-old man.
And again, that's brain injury, and that's something that's kind of been at the forefront with football. Again, what we see with NFL players. Again, we saw it recently. Again, without going into an autopsy, but again, with a Dwight Clark, again, with the ALS situation.
Did football kill him at age 21? I don't think so. I mean, this
again,
and I think his mom agrees with me.
What do you draw parallels with? Again, brain injuries, football, helmets, everything like that. Again, what is the NFL trying to figure out right now? Again, dealing with the lawsuits that they are of former ex-players who are suing them because, again, they are having similar situations of, hey, we have aging brain analysis, or, again, we're getting, oddball brain injuries here later in our careers after we're done playing. Sorry, I kind of, at that point in time, especially with that autopsy evidence, you kind of have to say maybe it was football. Maybe it was football. Again, taking those hits, again, especially as a quarterback.
I understand that, but here's the thing, too. And maybe this is something that definitely needs to be explored. Tyler Hinsky's parents said their son exhibited no obvious signs leading up to his suicide, and Tyler had never fired a gun until the day before his death. But they told Sports Illustrated that Tyler had become less responsive to calls and text messages late last season and after a family vacation to Mexico in January. So is this something that it just explodes in your brain right away? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's
You'd have to ask the doctor, obviously, but
it's a scary thought.
But again, it is a situation where, again, you draw the parallel line of possibly football did cause that to him. Absolutely. You have to say, again, without accusing anything, you have to go and say, absolutely. But again, who knows at this point? As we have the UPS guy there kind of.
He likes listening to us.
Absolutely. Again, we got the UPS guy interested anyways. But again, it's a sad situation what happened out there in Pullman. And with everything that is kind of floating around with the NFL and football as a general, you wonder if the NCAA is going to kind of look into this as well. Or at least maybe they're going to kind of advertise to helmet makers or, again, pads of saying, we need to make the sport a little bit more safer now. Maybe. I don't know.
You want to make it safer? Make it flag football.
Okay, but see, again, it's people like you where,
I'm just throwing
we have this evidence in front of that again, these hits to the head and everything is affecting people's lives.
I understand.
It's killing these people. What did we just see recently with some big Hall of Famers, again, and big names out of the 49ers? Again, ALS, I think you could probably draw that was probably from, again.
You got to blame ALS, well, then when Lou Gehrig picked it up from baseball.
All right, so now you just, all right, if you want to play the devil's advocate.
No, I'm not going to play devil's advocate.
Then why do we have a big lawsuit with the NFL right now of ex-players saying, hey, we have all this brain issues, we have all this brain damage. Why would they put out an ESPN, I don't even think it was a 30 for 30, but again, a documentary going, hey, here's these former ex-players, all these shots to the head.
I got you.
I can't even function in my daily life at this point in time.
And
why do we have
look at the helmet? Look at the involvement of the helmet over the
years.
It's
still not getting done, clearly.
Yeah,
at
least
it's
but also too. Here's another thing that we have to remember, though, Nick. And I know we're pushing up on the top of the hour. That the football player of the 50s and 60s with the football helmet that did not have the padding inside but had the face mask. Again, those football players of that generation are not stronger and not faster as the ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, that's a completely different style of play compared to what is happening
And again,
now.
too, the animal.
But again, that technology right now, that equipment is not evolving as players are evolving. And it's still kind of, all right, we're adding a little bit more cushion or a little bit more padding, but it's still not enough of where, again, this guy, right now, we're pushing 40 times that are going insanely fast. Or, again, these players are hauling. They're bigger. They're stronger. They're going to put a little bit more force than 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for that. I really can't even say much because, again, I look at field conditions, what they've done.
I'm just saying, maybe
the
NCAA needs to look into this. Or, again, maybe they need to, not saying to cheapen the game or, again, make it a flag football-esque, but it is something where you need to, again, you are messing with players' lives. And, again, it is right now, without going out and saying it, at least the family is saying football causes, it's still something that the NCAA should kind of look at of going, maybe we need to upgrade equipment.
Let's talk a little more about that tomorrow. Let's real quick remind you that we got our Golden Age of Radio Theater from 8 until 9, Red Skelton times 2, which is on our website, so you can check out those programs that are coming up. Also, Suspense Theater from 9 until 10. The best of the 50s and 60s headed your way. Quickly, we go to On This Date in History with Nick, and then we are going to wrap things up.
You probably won't get this one, so I'm just going to go into it. June 27th, 2014. I'll entertain it, but this change happened in the NHL.
This change happened in the NHL.
June 27th, 2014, just 4 years ago, this change happened to a team in the NHL.
The Arizona Coyotes were bought by the league, purchased by the league.
They weren't the Arizona Coyotes at that point in time. Or, I mean, they were technically.
They were the Phoenix Coyotes.
There you go, or at least somewhat. On this date back in
Now, what did you – now, you premised this by saying, I wasn't going to get this?
I still had to help you along. But, again, June 27, 2014, the NHL Coyotes franchise changes its geographic name from Phoenix to the Arizona Coyotes after the change of ownership. So that's what happened on the state.
Ladies and gentlemen, you determine if the pro man, was right.
Let's wrap it up.
Or this
I don't want to hear
over here. All right, anyway, we